I love this question. Really good question. So what is it like being a late 90s boy that's black in Australia, having an audience that's diverse, but definitely has a pocket of young black people that look up to me? It's actually crazy. Before I answer that question, I had I'm Nigerian. I had a Nigerian kid that I grew up with, and he's about 4 or 5 years younger than me. And he put me on his quote, like, on Instagram, how you can do quotes, like you can like at quote of the day where it lasts 24 hours. He put something that I said, which was in a podcast I said about a year and a half ago, where I'm like, think bigger than school. And he put that in his like pocket on the Instagram thing for me. I was like, that is crazy. Like I did that a year ago and that piece of content resonated with him. So I lead with that premise. It definitely does feel like, in a way, a bit of responsibility, simply because I feel like, yes, there's not too many representatives of black people that especially are straight up business inclined and actually doing it, with a legit staff kind of thing, and that's cool. That's cool. I definitely try to give a lot of game to especially younger African people and just people in general that are young, Gen Z. What do I tell them, right? What did I tell them? What did I tell them? Like, look, the main thing is to not think about race. The irony is, like, I don't really, like, again, like, I was racially bullied, quote unquote, in high school and stuff like that, but I really don't think it is efficient to look at race. I mean, shout out to Alex Hormozy. Alex Hormozy talks about whether you're a woman, whether you're black, whether you're Jewish, whether you're whatever, at the end of the day, and we all have 24 hours, it just comes down to how strategic you and how much effort. So as an example, if I, as a black person, when I was working in corporate, let's just say there was biases, and there are still biases. We're all humans, we're tribal creatures. Let's just say there's a bias. And that bias means I will close 10% less than the average person that's as skilled as me. Well, if that is the reality, based on science, data, or whatever, then cool. I'll just work 10 or 20% or 50% more to be able to still beat that person. So at the end of the day, it really comes down to a numbers game. I definitely have had people, like in my career, that would prefer, like especially when I was younger, I've had people not shake my hand. I remember when I was 20, 19 years old, I was pitching in Turak. And it's very funny. It's funny how far you've come. I probably recording of this pitch when I was 19, because I used to record my pitches when I was 19. I'll do door to door. I remember going into a store and I would meet this guy. I was like, are you the owner? I was like, yes. And I was like, hey, listen, I do social media. I want to be able to share what I can do for you. I put my hand out. This guy looks at me and he doesn't shake my hand, right? So imagine you're a 19, 20-year-old kid. You're wide-eyed. You're excited to go out the world. You put your hand out. This guy doesn't even shake your hand. That was great. And the good thing that I did at that age was I didn't think it's because I'm black or it's because I've got dreads. I was just like, yeah, no worries. And you know what's crazy? That happened in other domains as well. I remember when I was at a multi-level marketing event, there was an Indian guy, and it's funny because I'm friends with his daughter. I have no ill will to them or their family. But this Indian dad who knew me for about a year, he saw me, and he saw me for like a year already at this point. As I said, I'm walking into the event. I'm like, good morning, good to see you. He looks at me, looks at my hand, and he just doesn't shake my hand, right? So imagine a guy that knows you. He knows that you're friends with his daughter. He looks at you. He looks at your hand, looks at you, looks at your hand, and just walks off. Do you know how disrespectful that is? I was offended on that one. I was actually quite pissed off because as I started to build in my career, then he'd say happy birthday to me on Facebook and I wouldn't respond. But success and retrospect are the best teachers. So I don't really have a vendetta to anyone that was potentially racist or whatever. But yeah, like what I tell these kids that are black, Asian, whatever, look, at the end of the day, like, don't worry about the race. Just like, look at the numbers. If you have to do 50% more, great, you're going to be more skilled. I know that I'm a more skilled communicator and salesperson than majority of my counterparts that started an agency at the same time as me that are white, quote unquote. But also I'm better than the black ones that are my age. But there's also people that are way better than me that are Asian or black or whatever, right? On different parts of the world. So it's not a comparison thing. It's simply just look at your stats, and whatever your stats say, do more. That would be my best advice.